We need to use the power of a public health and a state of emergency to access different levers, different resources, and different opportunities. And then we'll, like all the other public health orders, we will either amend or renew or adjust, depending upon where we are. The purpose is to try to create a cooling off period while we figure out how we can better address public safety and gun violence. Now, that smart leveraging of resources and the declaration of an emergency creates opportunities. But I mean, the reason I did that is because it's lawful in New Mexico to have firearms. So in my suspending that, it's not like I can create a new law or a standard. So what I can do is when you violate a public health order, it's the lowest level of violation, with one exception. And that is, if there's an emergency, and I've declared an emergency for a temporary amount of time, I can invoke additional powers. No constitutional right, in my view, including my oath, is intended to be absolute.
Throughout human history, societies have grappled with fundamental questions of how to organize themselves, the proper relationship between the individual and the state, the best means to resolve inevitable conflicts between states. And it was here in Europe, through centuries of struggle, through war and enlightenment, repression and revolution, that a particular set of ideals began to emerge. The belief that through conscience and free will, each of us has the right to live as we choose. The belief that power is derived from the consent of the governed, and that laws and institutions should be established to protect that understanding. But those ideals have also been tested here in Europe and around the world. Those ideals have often been threatened by an older, more traditional view of power. This alternative vision argues that ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs, that order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
Never waste a good crisis. And when it comes to the economic crisis, don't waste it when it can have a very positive impact on climate change and energy security, and that's what we're trying to do.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
What we learned from this COVID crisis, we will be applying to the climate crisis, to the housing crisis, to reconciliation.
Just heard when we were talking to the Hillary Clinton and Chelsea Clinton about just how much of an effect, and continues to be an effect, COVID-19 is. But is it an opportunity also to rethink our approach to gender equality and inequality? Is it like never waste a good crisis, Justin?
I think so. I mean, first of all, we're all friends on this call who've stepped up, as Sadiqa said, in various ways.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help."
The statement, "never let a good crisis go to waste," presents a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it emphasizes the importance of resilience and adaptability, suggesting that crises can offer opportunities for reflection and growth. On the other hand, it subtly underscores a cynical worldview where crises can be exploited for individual or group gain, especially in the political sphere. History is replete with examples of political figures capitalizing on emergencies, sometimes to the community's benefit and oftentimes to its detriment. The challenge remains in discerning which intentions aim for the collective good and which serve the narrow interests. This video delves deeper into this complex interplay of power, trust, and opportunity that revolves around political maneuvering during actual or implied crises. Hello, everyone. I'm Todd from Infinite Growth TV, where we delve deep into the 5 social determinants of wealth. Our goal is to arm you with practical information you can apply directly to your life, helping you grow infinitely in your life's journey. If our content speaks to you, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you stay updated with our latest insights. Now, let's delve right back into our topic. The allure of crises. For politicians, crises are the pivotal moments that can make or break careers. Their appeal lies in their innate ability to disrupt the status quo, presenting an open arena for leadership or opportunism. There are 3 distinct avenues by which political figures might harness crises. Firstly, there's a consolidation of power. Political figures can position themselves as essential stabilizers in tumultuous times. By showcasing strength, determination, and a decisive action plan, they might amass more power than they held pre-crisis. Historical figures like Winston Churchill during World War II or Franklin D. Roosevelt during the Great Depression became symbolic of their consolidation. Their leadership during crises not only fortified their positions, but also steered their nations through the turbulent times. Next, crises allow for diverting attention. When a leader faces criticism or is embroiled in controversy, a separate crisis, whether by chance or design, can divert public and media attention away from the issue at hand. The populace, consumed by the immediacy of the new challenge, may temporarily or permanently forget past transgressions. This diversion tactic is a powerful tool, but not without risks, as it may lead to more significant problems if not handled adeptly. And lastly, crises are perfect moments for rallying the base. External threats or challenges offer politicians a chance to remind their core supporters of shared values, fears, and aspirations. By presenting a unified front against a common adversary, be it a tangible threat like an opposing nation, or an intangible one like climate control, gun control, or health emergency, politicians can strengthen their grassroots support. However, while these avenues provide opportunities, they also come with pitfalls. Overplaying one's hand or misreading public sentiment can backfire, leading to political isolation or widespread dissent. Erosion of trust. At the heart of any democratic system lies a bond of trust between the elected and the electorate. This trust, painstakingly built, can rapidly erode when crises are mishandled or exploited. The blatant misuse of emergencies for political gain sows seeds of skepticism, leading the public to question their leaders' motives and actions. Civil unrest and protests become the visible manifestations of this eroded trust. From the streets of major capitals to the digital forums of the internet, voices rise in unison, demanding accountability. Protests, initially sparked by perceived political opportunism, may evolve, addressing broader issues of governance, corruption, and societal values. The erosion doesn't stop at street-level dissent. Institutional structures feel the strain as demands for transparency and governmental oversight become louder. Independent bodies, watchdogs, and even international organizations may be called upon to ensure that the political leadership remains accountable. Lastly, the skeptical lens through which the public views their leaders post-crisis extend to future interactions. Even genuine efforts by politicians may be met with doubt, leading to a vicious cycle where both the public and politicians expect the worst from each other. Unintended consequences. Crises are chaotic by nature, and their outcomes are inherently unpredictable. Politicians who engage in this opportunism during these times often risk unleashing a series of unintended consequences. On the surface, a decision may seem astute, promising short-term gains. However, the ripple effects of these decisions can be profound and long-lasting. Consider the choice to suppress information during a health crisis, perhaps to prevent a panic or to appear in control. While this might offer a temporary calm, the long-term ramifications could include the populace no longer trusting the political leaders or healthcare professionals, ultimately creating an environment of distrust and the elimination of people who are involved in the political process due to the distrust. The loss of participation can lead to a distorted view of political consensus and disagreement. Or take the economic realm. A politician might introduce a populist measure in the face of an economic downturn, hoping to curry favor with the masses. But these masses, if not thought through, could strain the national treasury, lead to inflation, or deter foreign investment. This initial applause could soon be replaced by the grim reality of a worsened economic landscape. Furthermore, decisions made during a crisis can set precedents. Once an emergency power is invoked, for instance, it sets a benchmark for future leaders, potentially enabling a slide into authoritative tendencies. The populace, once accepting of certain measures due to the immediacy of a crisis, might find these intrusive policies becoming the new norm. The unintended consequences of crisis management serve as cautionary tales, urging leaders to act with foresight and responsibility. Threat to democracy. Democracies thrive on checks and balances. The division of power, free press, independent judiciary, and an informed electorate are its cornerstones. When politicians exploit crises, they risk undermining these very pillars, posing a significant threat to the democratic fabric of a nation. Emergency powers, for instance, might be necessary in genuine crises. However, their misuse or overextension can gradually erode democratic freedoms. Leaders might censor the media, curtail freedom of assembly, or suppress opposition under the guise of national interest. What starts as a temporary measure could morph into a prolonged assault on civil liberties. Moreover, the trust deficit created by political opportunism can lead to voter apathy. A disillusioned citizen might choose to abstain from the democratic process, believing their voice to be inconsequential. This withdrawal can result in skewed electoral outcomes, where extreme voices gain disproportionate representation due to lowered overall participation. Lastly, the polarized environment exacerbated by crisis exploitation can hinder effective governance. When politicians focus more on scoring points than addressing the crisis at hand, the entire democratic machinery suffers. Essentially, legislation gets stalled, collaborative efforts are minimized, and the nation's progress takes a backseat to political one-upsmanship. Protecting democracy, especially during crises, requires vigilance from both leaders and the led. Media, the double-edged sword. In the age of information, the media wields enormous influence. During crises, its role becomes even more pivotal, acting as the primary conduit of information between the government and the governed. However, when politicians seek to exploit crises, the media can become a double-edged sword. On one hand, independent media acts as a watchdog. It keeps the public informed, challenges official narratives, and ensures transparency. Journalistic integrity during such times is paramount, as it provides a counter-narrative to potential governmental overreach or misinformation. Conversely, when media outlets become beholden to political interests, they risk becoming tools of propaganda. Rather than objective reporting, they might indulge in fear-mongering, selective news coverage, or outright misinformation. Such a compromised media landscape not only misleads the public, but also fuels panic and confusion. Moreover, the rise of social media has added another layer to this dynamic. While it democratizes information dissemination, allowing voices from the ground to be heard, it's also a breeding ground for rumors, fake news, and unverified reports. Politicians with ulterior motives might exploit these platforms, using bots, trolls, or misleading campaigns to sway public opinion. Thus, while the media can be a beacon of truth during crisis, its potential misuse underscores the need for media literacy among the populace. International repercussions. A nation's actions during crises do not remain in isolation. They reverberate on the global scale. Political opportunism during emergencies can have profound international repercussions, affecting diplomatic relations, trade partnerships, and even global peace. When political leaders hide information about a domestic crisis or manipulate it for the political gain, other countries can perceive it as a breach of trust. Such actions can strain bilateral relations, with countries becoming hesitant to collaborate or extend assistance in the future. For instance, downplaying a health crisis might delay international aid, hampering containment efforts and leading to a global pandemic. Trade dynamics are equally susceptible. A country seen as exploiting an economic crisis for political gains can deter foreign investors, who might view it as an unstable market. This can lead to a decreased foreign direct investments, trade sanctions, or unfavorable trade terms, further hampering economic recovery. Moreover, political opportunism during international crises can have dire consequences for global peace. Misrepresenting facts, inflaming nationalistic sentiments, or engaging in the blame game can escalate tensions, sometimes even leading to military confrontations. Such behaviors not only endanger the involved nations, but also risk dragging allies and global powers into conflicts. The international community, in turn, has tools at its disposal to counter such opportunism. Global organizations can impose sanctions, diplomatic pressures, or even interventions if they perceive a leader's actions during a crisis to be a threat to global stability. Public resilience and empowerment. Every dark cloud has a silver lining. While political opportunism during crises can erode trust and destabilize societal structures, it also offers an opportunity for public resilience and empowerment. Often, the most significant societal shifts and reforms have arisen from the ashes of manipulated crises. As the public becomes more aware of political machinations during emergencies, it fosters a collective consciousness. Grassroots movements, civil societal groups, and community leaders rise to the forefront, challenging the status quo and demanding accountability. From peaceful protests to organized campaigns, the public's response becomes a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Furthermore, the age of digital information provides the populace with tools to counter misinformation and opportunism. Fact-checking platforms, independent journalism, and citizen reporting become vital in ensuring that truth prevails. Social media campaigns can galvanize global support, ensuring that leaders are held accountable not just by their citizens, but by the international community. Moreover, the aftermath of a political exploited crisis often results in systemic reforms. Calls for transparency lead to stronger oversight mechanisms, checks and balances, and sometimes even constitutional amendments. While the immediate aftermath of a crisis might seem bleak, the long-term trajectory often bends towards justice, reform, and empowerment. It's a testament to the fact that while leaders might waver in their responsibilities, the collective spirit of the people, driven by a desire for a better tomorrow, remains indomitable. Conclusion and call to action. In the ever-evolving panorama of global events, crises are certain. Their emergence may be unpredictable, but the way leaders respond sets the tone for a nation's resilience and recovery. When self-serving agendas overshadow the broader good during emergencies, the effects reverberate far beyond the immediate situation. What's at stake is more than just a solution to the crisis at hand. It's the underlying trust, the democratic ethos, and the integrity of enduring institutions. As members of a shared global community, we must understand that our roles are not passive. We aren't just observers of political theater, but active participants with the power to demand transparency, accountability, and principled leadership. In these challenging times, there's a timeless philosophy that remains relevant. We might not have control over every external event, but we have the undeniable power to choose our reactions. Our strength lies in our ability to act with reason, to uphold our values even when faced with adversity, and to prioritize the collective good over transient gains. Thus, our call to action emerges from this understanding. In the midst of crisis, let us be grounded in wisdom and clarity. Let's choose knowledge over misinformation, discernment over blind loyalty, and the welfare of many over the ambitions of a few. We must remember that the essence of leadership isn't just in the hands of those who stand at the podiums, but also in the hearts and minds of those who listen, reflect, and act. Armed with this insight, let us ensure that we navigate the challenges of our times with resilience, ensuring that genuine crises are met with authentic solutions. Trust is revered, and democracy remains the bedrock of our societies.